Looks like they're setting up your trash. Oh, that's a really good value Ice Age for them. Hey, what's going on everyone? It's adakai TCG here, and today I'm coming at you with another deck profile video featuring a leader that I can never let go. If you guys have been following me, I really do enjoy playing this leader. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Red Purple Kid. He is the starter 10, or one of the starter 10 leaders. We got the RP Law, Luffy, and then this is the third. But for those of you who aren't too familiar with this card, we'll go through it and what it does. It's a 5k leader with a special attribute, and it's a multicolor leader being red and purple, but it starts 5 life, and it also can attack, which is great. But the one drawback is on your turn, if you have 4 or more life cards, this leader gets minus 1000 power, and so on your turn only, he'll be swinging at a 4k, so he does require either a Dawn commitment or for you to Dawn minus to swing above and hit at the leader. But he has a secondary ability where when attacking, you can Dawn -1, and this leader gains 2000 power for the turn. And so there's been some new support that I wanted to check out and test out with this deck, but I just haven't been able to until more recently. And so yeah, and that support from 08, we'll talk about it, and we will kind of go forward from there. But yeah, I think that this deck definitely got a power spike in 08, but it's still not top tier by any means. And so if you want to play this deck, I think it's perfect for locals. I think it even has a chance into like black decks too, but you really need to see your pieces, and you need to play it well. And so with that being said, let's kind of go into it. We're going to talk about let's talk about the early plays first. So this deck generally wants to go first, and we want to see Pudding. And so Pudding is fantastic. It's a 3-cost 4k power. This is one of the reasons why this deck can kind of work. This has 1k counter, so it's not dead in hands, but on your turn, once per turn, when a Dawn is returned to your Dawn deck, set 1 Dawn and set it as rested. And so you re-ramp whatever you Dawn minus, right? That's perfect, meaning on turn 2, which is your 3 Dawn turn, if you can play Pudding, now your kid can swing using his leader ability and just swing 6k for basically free. Right, and so that's fantastic. It solves one of the big issues with Kid, where you never really wanted the leader ability early because it would just completely mess up your curve and kind of bite you in the butt towards the later game. But with this Pudding, we are now getting those swings in there earlier and maintaining the aggression of the red side while maintaining our ramping that we want for our top end. And so very strong addition to the deck. You really want to open with this because if you can get Pudding into a Kid, you are in a fantastic spot, right? So then you can turn 3, drop Kid, and now you are able to swing with Kid again, your leader Kid again, use his leader ability, re-ramp back up to 5, but then now Kid will ramp you up to 6, right? And so and that Dawn will be active, which you can attach it to Pudding and swing 5 again. So you get a 6k swing and a 5k swing while maintaining you actually ramp a Dawn at that point, and it's really good. And so yeah, and from there on, you can go into your dragon or just play the queen, or by the time you're chilling, right? And so those are kind of like the early game plays. We'll talk through some other choices that I have here. So I'm testing out this iteration of Porsche. I really do like the Porsche in this deck. In a meta where playing one card just gets so easily removed, being able to kind of go wider oftentimes will help you answer a lot of board states. It'll make it harder for Lucci to remove. But there's this like kind of secondary playline you can do with this deck where you're kind of playing really aggressively, where you're on turn 1 or turn 2 rather, you can drop Porsche, and Porsche can be the one that drops your pudding. So now you've developed 2 bodies, and you're still being able to swing 6K, but you will be down 1 Dawn, right? Because Porsche does require you to Dawn -1. But if you can keep grabbing, you can grab a blocker, or you can grab a 2K here. There's 16 targets total, or 15 rather, because Porsche can grab herself, which is great. But you're able to kind of go wider now, right? So Porsche being able to grab a 2K or blocker, then play out something like your Bone Clay, Pudding, Black Maria, or Heat is very strong, right? And so this card remains really strong even throughout the mid to late game, right? So another, I guess, strategy that I've been testing is just aggressively using leader ability constantly while trying to, if I have Porsches in hand, I'll play them out. I'll grab my 2Ks, play my blockers, play my Heats, play my Bone Clays, play my Porsche Puddings, and just keep swinging aggressively, not caring about Dawn until my opponent hits 8 Dawn, right? Then I'll save one of the Porsches to drop with Black Maria, and then just re-ramp up, and then it leads us into the late game. And so I really do like this because she has so many playable targets, right? She can play out the blocker, she can play out a Heat, which is perfect because Heat can naturally just become a 6K swinger once he's established on the board and you just use leader ability. You can play out Black Maria if you need to re-ramp with your opponent's at a high Dawn. You can play out a Bone Clay, which will get you back that Dawn that you lost. And Bone Clay is a body that your opponent has to answer, or else he's going to be paying a higher dividends later in the game. And of course, your Pudding as well. And so, yeah, it's a really fun iteration of the deck, and I really like it. Porsche being a 5K itself can help us to maintain that aggression, where in some of the games I'm finding myself being able to swing like just 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, just Dawn minusing to swing 7, and then eventually ramping up with Black Maria into our late game, which we'll talk about the late game cards that we have. We're running 2 copies of Dragon. It's just a really good rush card that can help us close the gap in the later game, especially if we can attach 2 Dawn to Kid. We now have a 9K swing and a 9K swing with Kid's ability, and that you'll still have 2 Dawn remaining, right? And so you can leave the 2 Dawn up for like a Rad Beam or anything. Like they can play a Chopper Blocker. But the other cool thing is, you can play the Dragon out, attach a 2 Dawn to something else you have on board, like say a Porsche, swing 7, swing 9, then swing like 12 with Kid if you have Punk Rotten, right? And so there's just like so many different play lines you can do. It's a very flexible deck, and I think with more and more games being played, I'm seeing more and more of the play lines, and maybe I'll make another video talking through some more play lines when I discover them in the deck. But so far, there's that, and then we're playing 2 copies of the big Charlotte Linlin. Just another card that's a big body that can help keep us alive, because we're playing a good amount of blockers, we have a good amount of defense, and sometimes we just need to establish a body and heal. And she has plenty of trash targets, right? She can trash a Porsche, a Dragon, your Shanks, even some of your events if you don't need them, and you'll be able to kind of stay healthy and defensive in order to close out the game the next turn. But I found her at a 2 of is okay. I generally wanted to play other cards outside of this, but it's a good tech choice. And then we have 4 copies of Shanks, who is really an MVP card in this format. He can KO one of your opponent's characters with 10,000 power or less. So he's hitting most of the cards that we care about in this current meta, right? And so he's hitting the Morias, the Jacks, the Ishos. He's hitting like the Rosinante 8 cost in Bonnie. He's hitting Zoro, and so this guy can hit basically anything and establish a really, really hard to remove body. whether by just removal or just by swinging into it because he's a 12k power. And the cool thing is you can play this guy out and still swing 7 with your leader ability. And so, very good late game option. Sometimes it's enough just to do that. Wanted to mention a caveat. You could replace these 2 Linlins with 2 Rayleighs. I did originally have Rayleigh in the deck, and I really like Rayleigh a lot. And so I think it's one of the stronger cards in the current meta. I'm trying out these 2 Linlins for now, but I may end up just being like, prolonging the game doesn't help me win it, so I'm just going to just play Rayleighs and try to control the board a little bit earlier. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. So actually, we'll go through the events. We have 2 Rad Beams, and for those of you who don't know, this is like one of the most busted red defense cards for 1 Dawn. You can essentially get 4k power as long as you have 2 life or less. And the trigger's not bad if your leader can get 1000 power during the turn. Good against like a Zoro player who's going to typically go wide and maybe just need that 1k buff to stay alive. We're running 2 copies of the Gum Gum Jet Gatling. It's a 0 cost event for purple that allows you to trash a card from hand and get 3000 power. The reason why we're playing this over the red version is I like the trigger better, just being able to Rampadon instead of as active. 1 could also make your Rad Beam come alive on the defense, but also just helps you ramp into your late game for this deck. And we're running 2 copies of Punk Rotten. This card is always kind of a gotcha for your opponent. It's a 2 cost. You activate on your main. You don -1. Choose up to one of your leader or character with Kid Pirates type, and give it 5000 power for the turn. And it also has a pretty good trigger where you get to just ramp a Dawn instead of just active. And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think. We're gonna get into some gameplay, but I really do love the Porsche in this deck, and so maybe there's some other combos from that I just don't know about either, and so I'm going to be testing it out quite a bit, but yeah, let's get into some gameplay now. Alright, so we're up against a Zoro. I'm going to choose to go first. I will mulligan because that hand is a little bit weak, and I do want to open Pudding or Porsche, but we didn't do that either, so we're just going to hit pass. Hopefully we draw into it. So it looks like they got the blocker chopper and this chopper. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just going to develop a body and then say pass. We'll take the hit. They're probably going to play the chopper, yep. So already they have a pretty wide board, but that's okay. We're going to play the queen. We'll don minus. We'll trash one of the shanks. And here we can swing 6 and 6. Normally I wouldn't go down too much Dawn, but against the Zoro, I'm not prioritizing my shanks as much. Because they're probably just going to keep going wide and keep going aggressive like this. Exactly like they're doing. Honestly, I should have blocked that one. And then 2K'd out of this one, but that's okay. Alright, so here I will choose the Porsche. We can't grab anything, but we will play the Bone Clay. Let's swing 6 here. We'll swing 5 here. Not using my ability. We're just going to develop another Porsche. We will not use the action. And you know what? We're going to swing 6 here too. We'll say pass. So now we have the full board, which is pretty nice. He's at 8 Dawn though, so we have to be a little bit careful. Double chopper blockers. I don't usually see this card too often in Zero. We'll take this first hit. And we will counter out of this hit. Okay, so we have a few options now. First, I'll just copy this and swing into that. I think we're just gonna... Oh shoot. I meant to delete our ability there. That was a misclick. That's okay. I think we should still be fine. I will choose to develop, and we will choose to do this, and turn. Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay there. I needed to have, I should have swung 7 with Porsche first, then swung 7 with Kid, and then he would have been 6K, then I could have swung 6, 7 again, and then still do this Black Maria play, but it's alright. That's what happens. Misclicks do happen sometimes. I'll take this first hit. We will counter out of this one. I'll counter out of this one. What is he gonna summon? Relay? Dragon? Another chopper blocker. This is like the most defensive Zero player I've seen. Okay. Yeah, maybe we just keep playing for board here. Very interesting. I guess I only need I'll say pass. We have to be careful for the Diablo Jambe, but he could also drag in here too. So we will counter this one. Yeah, the dragon came out. Sadly for him, that will not be enough. Sure. Yeah, that's GG anyway. No matter what he gets, we have way more than enough attacks to finish this game off. There's another 7. We'll get the remaining 2 out. And yeah, that's GG. Alright, so we're up against the Black Luffy player. We're going to choose to go first. I'm going to keep this hand. We have the Pudding and a Bone Clay, so we get to ramp nicely here. I think Black is just a really tough matchup, though, overall for this deck. Which kind of is unfortunate because Black is so present we'll see how it goes. So the Laboon, we're gonna take this early hit. Oh, that's cool. So we get to do like a little bit of a cool play here. We'll go on -1. We'll grab another Porsche. We'll play out the Bone Clay, and we'll get the ramp again. So here we get to go swing 6, 7. Looks like they're setting up your trash. Oh, that's a really good value Ice Age for them. I will take this hit too. Let's play the queen. We'll trash. Guess I don't need the Porsche anymore. The rest gonna trash the Big Mom. And what I'm gonna do here, it's just too much value to leave this thing up. We'll say pass. Yeah, we're gonna use a Porsche to play out the Black Maria. Hopefully grab something else. Cool. Grab another chopper blocker. We'll play out the Black Maria. So that way we can ramp up again. Here, I'm just gonna keep going aggressive. Do we leave one up for the Rad Beam? No, I don't think we even need to. Cool, now we have the Shanks live for the next turns. They do have a lot of cards in hand though. So I think they'll be able to do a lot to clear my board and develop some annoying stuff on their end. The more I play the Shanks, the more I love this card. This card is like really nice. Especially because you can still swing 7 with Kid after. We like that. They really got that Laboon Brook package. I do like it, actually. Wow, that's really interesting. So I guess he's gonna swing KO it. That's okay. We'll take this one though. Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, fam. Ooh, that Isho's a good Isho. He's going to get my Shanks now. Can he? 4. Yeah. The last Brook is going to get in. So maybe I should have went after the Brook. We're going to try to keep at least a Porsche alive. Yeah, because no matter what now, he's just going to die to the crackback. Not sure why he left one up. Oh, to become a 6K. I think I can just math this, right? 5 is 10. Yeah, this is this. Even if he does get out of this, we just go 12. That should be game. Yeah, so this does still have legs even into some black matchups, but it's definitely an uphill battle. You got to see your pieces, and it just has to work out that way. But yeah, this is the deck. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think, and adakai TCG out.